For a while, the NBA was in what was called the super team era. And we're going to talk about today, why that's probably over, especially if you're the Phoenix Suns. We're going to get into all and more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central. We got Stevo, C-Dub, and Bobby all in the building. And guys, we got to talk about this team, the Phoenix Suns, who do have a game tonight, possible elimination game. The thing about the Phoenix Suns is that this was a team that when it was built, you got to give credit for them being able to go out, add Kevin Durant to Devin Booker, go out and get Bradley Beal, the aggressiveness that they did show in building this team. But this was always a team that when the construction was finally done, it had some major glaring holes on it. You know, always thinking about running Bradley Beal as a point was always had its own questions there. No depth. I think the Phoenix Suns also showed the importance of having role players. That's why they gave Grayson Allen a $75 million contract. But it's all come crashing down basically in the first round of this playoffs. And the thing that makes it so difficult to see how the Suns get out of this, they're $17 million with no extra moves, $17 million over the second tax apron, which we know that if they do that in consecutive years, they lose their mid-level exception. They lose the ability to aggregate picks and trades. They are right up against the area of being able to have to be locked into this team with no real flexibility to go of. Guys, how do you feel? What is this playoff run, the season? Because it's been an up and down season for them too. Everything in totality really say about the super team era and the Phoenix Suns more specific.
I hate to say this. I love what they tried to do in Phoenix. I love what they tried to do, but you are in fact right. Even though you didn't say what the super team era is pretty much done. Now I want to point out that they will not be going out in a sweep. I'm just gonna let y'all know before I go. But these teams in the NBA are better constructed now. That it's better. You look at Denver, you look at the team that they're facing, Minnesota. They are young and they're talented at all positions of the court. It's just it's so difficult. And the possibility of failure for Phoenix. The room for error for Phoenix is so small because you just got the three isolation players. They're great players, probably all three going to the Hall of Fame. And then you got to build, you got to look and you got to prod for pieces to stick in here. Then you lose Grayson Allen. It's just not working. We already seen this not working with Brooklyn and you could probably say LA if you want. If you want to say LA, you could probably say LA. But yeah, I think it's the death of the super teams. Teams are going to start building their teams the fair way, the correct way, the way it should be, instead of trying to stack the deck. I'm still not done with this team as Phoenix as it is. I think this is the last of a dying breed. But yeah, it's looking that way. And just don't discount that Minnesota is just a great team, and they've been number one all season in the West. Let's not discount that. Okay.
I'm not gonna say super teams era is dead because, quite frankly, it's not. The super team itself is how you put it together. There's been super teams since the beginning of time.
Yeah, manufactured super teams is a better way to word it for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you just the thing is, you can't just put a team together that look good on paper. You got to put a team together. The problem with Phoenix is not a team. You need shooters. You need a point guard. You need somebody out there that's just gonna rebound. You need a big man that's gonna roll. You need somebody that's just gonna come off the bench and play hard-nosed defense. You need to coach well. They don't have that. They just got scorers. The difference between a super team like Boston, they had Rondo. They had Leon Poles coming off the bench. They had shooters coming. They had big baby Davis coming off the bench. You have certain people in place. Even with the Heat, when they started winning and had their back-to-back, there was still the element of basketball where roles were still in place. Joe Anthony wasn't out there trying to score. You had people like, I forget what the Latino guy name, but he came off the bench being the point guard. Mike Miller coming out being their shooter. Shane Battier coming off and being his role player in like a nickel platoon type of role. You have to have that element of structure in basketball. And When you don't put that together like a Brooklyn, like a Phoenix, this is the result of it. You can't just put two stars together and say figure it out. It has to be still have the structure of the NBA structure. So to me, super teams ain't dead. It's just every super team is not gonna work if you don't put it together right.
I think if you organically build a super team through drafting well, whatever, and then even maybe sign a free agent that makes sense to complement it, that's different than like making these trades out like a focus, right? And that's the thing that they always had. Like OKC Thunder could very well be a super team in 2 to 3 years, and by nothing other than what they've drafted, right? But the way that this team came together, like adding KD to Devin Booker always made sense. The Bradley Beal aspect of it was always questionable, unless you need a extreme pass first, defensive minded point guard there and a defensive minded big to make those three players work together.
Yeah,
we'll see it. Bobby, how you feeling?
I'm feeling like, man, the Phoenix Suns, they screwed up big time. You got a guy that's really never been the point guard throughout his career, and you say, hey, he's gonna play point guard. Devin Booker does not look the same since Chris Paul is no longer there. And I think that they just tried to put this thing together and treat it like it was LA Fitness and say, hey, we got 3 awesome scorers. We're going to be able to contend. Yeah, it looks good on paper, but you eventually got to come out here and play games. And we know that once you give a solid coach an opportunity to coach for a series, and you can really just focus on this team and you don't have to game plan for another team in the next game, you're going to be able to expose a lot of things with this team. And right now, I think that the center position is lacking. I think they desperately need another option at point guard. You got Kevin Durant trying to be like, and Kevin Durant has always been a solid defender, but you got Kevin Durant trying to guard Rudy Gobert one-on-one. He's capable of, battling, but you need KD to be a scorer. You need KD to take games over and let his brilliance be on the court. He shouldn't have to be focusing that hard on the defensive end. It's just too many problems. They got a lot of work to do. And I honestly think that if CP3 was here, they will be much better. That's just my personal opinion. And I think, but they decided to go in a different direction and pick up Bradley Beal. So Kevin Durant, you as the guy that signed off on this, along with your guy, Devin Booker, you got to hold that L, big guy.
I just want to add this, like, Bradley Beal, he was like the point guard. He had the ball most of the time when John Wall got injured out of Washington and ultimately left the team. So
very differently constructed team.
Definitely. And he's a different type of point guard. And I also want to point that the traditional point guard doesn't equals championship in the NBA. When is the last time a Chris Paul or somebody that averaged 10 assists won a championship? So that ain't really what I think it's
not necessarily you need somebody to play the role of a point guard, and every championship player had that. Jokic was doing that. Draymond was that person for the Warriors.
Okay, but we're talking about the specific position, though. He's the guard, he's the point guard.
But he's not a point guard. Even like to the point what you just said with Washington, it wasn't good. They weren't winning then too.
Yeah, that's what we said.
That's all they had. That's all they had.
I mean, I get you. Like, I get the mindset. Like, they had no choice. But then again, me as a Phoenix owner or whatever I am, to me, I'm still like, that's not going to work here. It didn't work there.
And that's the problem with that, is that if you're going to sign off on having a tax bill that the Phoenix Suns have, you need to build the damn team correctly. Like, I don't know what they like. I guess they just hoped that the offense was going to be so amazing that forget the defense, forget who's going to pass the ball, everybody just shoot. Maybe that's what they were hoping. But listen,
is you mad at that logic though, Drip? Like,
am I mad at it?
When they brought it out the first time? Is you mad at that? You got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. You would think like, okay, you're gonna have to outscore us. We're gonna.
The thing is, though, is that but when's the last time that's been successful in the playoffs? Every team, no matter how good they are or not offensively, has a defensive gear that they can go into somewhat in the playoffs.
Yeah,
the Suns don't have that.
But even with that, you said was he mad? I was mad because there's only one basketball, and they all need the basketball to work. The only person in that whole big three right there that can play off the ball is KD. But if you have two players that need the ball, and then there's no defense being played, and there's nobody giving you easy and open shots because there's nobody that's playmaking for real. It was never gonna work. And that's my thing. Like, even with what Haize said, I still think you can make a team work if you just build it right. LA didn't draft everybody when they won the championship, but they brought in Rondo. They brought in two big at JaVale McGee and Dwight because they knew what they was gonna run up against, and they still play within the system of basketball.
Agreed.
Phoenix is not doing that. Brooklyn didn't do that, and it's not going to work that way. If you're going to work, especially with KD, which you left a system you claim that's the reason why you left. That you left your original team at OKC for. If you left there, you should have known you needed a system.
Yes,
James Harden and KD and Kyrie ain't bringing no system.
You can't trust nobody who don't even brush their hair, bro. Like, that's the thing. He shouldn't be able to make decisions.
KD can play in any system. What do you
No,
mean?
he can't.
He's the best plug and play player in the NBA. What are you saying?
Then why they not? And then why they up 3-0 right now?
They don't have a poorly constructed
Because
team.
the
They got
system
injuries
don't
on
work.
the team.
I think saying that he can play any system, I don't think that's a valid statement, but it's the players that you have in that system that need to make it sense. So while KD theoretically could probably play in any system because his game is mid-range based and things like that, and he is versatile offensively, you still need players that make this system. Like, KD isn't the type of player that makes a system make sense. He's a player that can play within any system. He can be successful in any system, but you got to have the right pieces around it to make it make sense.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's not surrounding him with people that can score just like him.
I think if they would have went with a more defensive minded point guard, they would have been better off. I would like if you had an opportunity to plug in a Drew Holiday into this situation, I believe they much better. Because Drew Holiday, he gonna set things up, shoot the occasional three, but he gonna be the defensive minded guy that you need. I wasn't too mad at the Yusef Nurkic pickup.
I like Nurkic.
It ain't looking too good, and I just think the body language with the team is not there. You know what I'm saying? Like the belief that they can win is lacking during a lot of these games, and I think that's.
I'm gonna say it. He had a better chance with Monty Williams and everybody before, with Chris Paul and Buddy that went to Portland. He had a better chance with that team winning the championship, in my opinion.
I agree.
Devin Booker, Kevin Durant,
and Chris Paul,
DeAndre
Ayton. They had a better chance.
They went to the championship like that, so he caught him a year too
late.
He was late.
He was on his way. He just caught him a year too late.
And I understood the reason why they got rid of CP3, because he always got injured at the worst times, bro. Always.
Yeah.
And I understood that, but I think when they pivoted, like the Bradley Beal stuff, like you pointed out earlier, C-Dub, it was good on paper. But I think they should have definitely went with a guy that can, facilitate a little bit more and be more effective on a defensive side, but still provide them something offensively. I think that Bradley Beal is just too offensively focused for this team.
There it is right there. He can handle the ball. He can lead your offense, but just know that he's an aggressive scorer. He's going to go. That's his first thing in his mind. He's going to score. It's not going to set nobody else up. He can do that. But since all his life playing basketball, he's been a scorer for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll see, man. So some of the just to highlight how bad off the Suns are right now. Teams above the second tax apron cannot use the taxpayer mid-level exception. If they remain in the tax apron for 3 out of 5 seasons, their first round pick will automatically move to the end of the round. That's crazy right there. That's crazy to just say no matter where you are, if you're over that tax apron, you're moving to the end of the first round.
It's crazy, ain't it?
First round picks 7 years out cannot be traded the beginning of the next season. So that's another thing. Salaries can't be aggregated or combined to trade for a single player, making more money. And teams can't use trade exceptions created from the prior. Basically, this is they have 12 players under contract and they're $17 million over the second tax apron. This is their team, bro.
They went for it. They took the gamble, and when you gamble, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And they crapped
out
looking like
early,
the loss. You crapped out. Now, Can they pay their way out of this? Can they cut a little bit? I don't know what they do. Yeah,
Bro,
that's
they
up to
the-
the big brains in the
bro.
front office.
Yeah.
They the LA Chargers of the NBA.
I like to
They
compare.
have they're in cap money. Do anything futuristic? Hell, they can't do nothing.
Facts. Who is the GM over there? Is it James Jones?
Yeah,
I think
James
it
Jones.
is.
James
Yeah,
Jones,
and
James
he
Jones.
didn't have this right here with this situation is letting me know that you didn't really. They it's like C-Dub said, they went for it. You pretty much you trying to go for it and you crapped out. That's pretty much it. And you didn't really think about this decision with anything without what you didn't consider anything in the future.
And you,
Because
think,
right now you
you think James Jones being a career role player would understand the importance of having role players on your team?
Exactly.
Absolutely, great point.
Well, the difference is James Jones the president, not the GM.
Oh, okay.
No, he's the general manager.
I just seen president.
Does he have both titles?
He could have both
It
titles.
says, it says president of basketball operation. That's it.
He's something
Let me
over there.
see.
He a shot caller though.
Damn, James.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, he is both. He is both. So yeah, you should know better.
God, he got.
You should have known better.
He's about to lose one of those roles. I
He one of
guarantee you.
those,
That
yeah.
ownership group is going to be like, "Hey, man, we got to
Hey,
bring in a
okay.
new set of
Get a
eyes."
little
to
bit
this
over your head,
Motherfucker Kawhi out again.
bro. What?
That's crazy.
I'm so tired.
Any last thoughts on the Suns, fellas, before we get up out of here, man?
Hey, man, they not getting swept. Great players get your one game. They gonna get one. Jeez.
Hey.
Get the Browns.
My last thing is Anthony Edwards. Keep doing what the hell you doing.
Ooh,
You said that Kevin Durant is one of your no, I think he said his
Did
favorite
you hear that they said he
basketball player
walked into
of
the
all
locker
time.
room? He walked
What'd he
into
do?
the Suns locker room and told him, "You better lace those shoes up." That's crazy, bro.
That
love
is
this kid.
crazy, and that's why I was going to say, hey, we
Put him
got
out
the
of his
face, we
misery.
got the face of the league right in front of us. He got all the characteristics. He got the game. So going up against one of his favorite players all time, he could have been idolizing, glazing, everything. He said, hell no. We going to celebrate. We going to whoop y'all and send y'all to the crib. It ain't over yet, but it's almost over. So shout out to Ant Edwards.
And put him out of his misery. Put him
a
down.
dog, bro. He a dog.
Put him down.
He a fucking dog.
That's crazy, man. Make sure you guys are following us at NBA Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. NBA Central Show at gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything basketball related, and we'll see you guys whenever we come back, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.